Sánchez. I'm assistant professor of Spanish here at Mercer, and I am the host of this colloquium titled Empowering Latino Communities. And the purpose of this colloquium is to invite unique entrepreneurs, writers, leaders in the Latino community in order to inspire students, through their knowledge of the life, personal life, and professional trajectories that our guests have gone through. One of the focuses is also to learn about the adversities of the Latino and Hispanic community, and as well to learn about how they've been able to overcome these adversities. Another purpose is just to show presence, very important to show presence of the Latino community and to recognize their past, present, and future contributions to the United States. And so tonight's guest is a friend of North Central College, Roberto Ramírez. He has been here several times already, speaking to students and the community. He is founder and CEO of Spanish Public Media, and he has many accomplishments in his life, throughout his life, that I'd like to share just a few. Roberto is currently a commissioner at the Illinois Latino Family Commission, a Pan-American Bank director. He was a board member of the Hispanic American Construction Industry of Illinois, Hispanics in Philanthropy, and the Naperville Chamber of Commerce, and is a past board member of the Naperville City Sister City Commission for Pátzcuaro, Mexico, and that's how we met.
Yes.
A decade ago.
Yes. Many moons ago.
A long time ago. He's also a member of the advisory board at the Autonomous University of Mexico in Chicago, the Institute for Mexicans Abroad, and the Governor's Commission on Capital Punishment. There is a long list of other accomplishments and roles that he plays in the community. I'll let him share that with you tonight. So please let's give one applause to our guest.
Buenas tardes. Again, thank you, Jelena. I really appreciate your invitation. I am happy to be here among all of you. I hope that what I'm going to be speaking about is able to at least give you an idea of what I've been able to accomplish in this great country. I'm an immigrant. I have been here for many years. I arrived as a young boy, and my intention is to share some of the pictures through my life within this country and why was it that I left Mexico many years ago, over 40 years ago. And sharing these pictures, I think is going to be able to give you a better idea of what happens to an immigrant as one comes here. This country has really given me much more than what I expected when I arrived. First, I have to admit that there are many things that one goes through as we cross the border. And I'm sure that a lot of you have ancestors that have arrived or that arrived many, many years ago. Maybe some that are new, maybe you are first generation. So I'm going to share something that happened to me years ago. The first picture that I'm going to share with you is a picture of my father. I was born in a farm in Mexico, and this farm that you see displaying a bull, and my father hanging on to this bull is a picture that I just recently had recovered. And why is it that I'm sharing this picture with you? Because my father, I'm the milkman's son. She produced 11 children with my mom. Though several years after I was born, I'm the seventh son of the 9 kids. So after I was born, there were 2 others that were born after me, and they were born in the city of Matamoros. So I was born at this farm, but the sad story about this man is that he was murdered when I was 8 years old. Ironically, I was cleaning a butcher shop when he was murdered. At 8 years old, I was already working. So why am I telling you this? So at least you can have a picture of what happens in the life of an individual that is born in Mexico, comes here and continues through life. And through that struggle, despite that struggle, how is it that one in this country can be somebody? Not that I wasn't when I was there, but again, I'm trying to at least point out some of the things that that I have been able to do in this country and what I've been able to be given an opportunity in this country more than anything. The second picture that I have is, this is, you see me well dressed there. I'm the youngest in this 4 young kids. I'm the youngest of those 4, but there are 5 others that were born. Why am I showing you this picture? Because my parents literally spent most of the money. This is when we were baptized as Catholics, okay? So this was another picture that I just had redone because it was totally broken, and you know, and they were able to finish it fairly well. So I was talking to my mom, and she says, Roberto, I made that dress for Diana, my sister. So if you think about what this couple in a farm, what they were able to do with very little money. And my father used to go to the city and sell milk. And this is how he was able to dress us and feed us and so on. So I'm going to show you another picture. This is when I was playing soccer. I'm a soccer player. I finished playing soccer about 10 years ago. Why is it that I show you this? This, if you see the ground within this soccer field, there's no grass. So we tend to play in fields like this within Mexico. We do not have the luxuries that most kids have here, especially in Naperville, you know, with very grassy, very neat places. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we have so many luxuries. Don't take those as a given. Make sure that you appreciate those, appreciate what you have here. And another thing that I can show you is that through my arriving in this country, first, I arrived in Texas. And by showing you this picture is just a few months after I arrived. I arrived in July. And this picture must be December. I cannot remember that far. But this has to be in December because you can see snow. And I can share a bit of a story of this picture. Why is it that I decided to put in this presentation? It is something important of me presenting this to you because during this time, I was going to junior high school. Again, I didn't speak a word of English. I was just going into a class of 32 kids that were Hispanic, mostly Mexican, immigrants in particular. And so I would go. My mom went to a secondhand shop because it was winter, obviously, and bought us all clothes so we could be able to wear. I mean, coats, boots, gloves, hats, you name it. So I keep going into class every morning and coming out of school. And my mom bought me this beautiful coat. I remember that had fur here, fur here, fur here, And the boots had fur as well. So I was so proud, and I would put my jeans inside the boots and I would be walking into school. But I would notice that some of these kids would be literally waiting for me to, as I was walking in and walking out of the school. And I didn't know why. Again, I didn't speak a word of English. So I said, I'm gonna have to ask my buddy, because he knew English, he spoke English. And he says, well, Roberto, I didn't want to tell you, but you're wearing a girl's coat and girl's boots. I was so proud of this coat and these boots that, again, I would put my jeans inside the boots. So why is it that I tell you? I want you to understand the relationship of a mother with their kids, with her kids, and try to keep them, safe, warm, but also not knowing the culture, not knowing the environment that she was bringing us in, all 9 kids. Okay, so these are some of the things that an immigrant doesn't understand. First, not knowing the language, not knowing the culture. I'm sure that if you were to go to Mexico, you would be possibly making the same mistakes. And it's not a mistake. I mean, I see it as I don't know, as a novelty of a mother to do this sort of thing, okay? Now I take it as a blessing, because I'm able to speak to you guys about this. The other thing that I want to share with you, this is my family. This is my mom and all my brothers and sisters. There are 7 boys in the family and 2 girls. That is the whole family. I'm already in the 20s here, into the 30s. I'm married and I have kids. And these 2 kids have given me much more than what I expected from my kids, a boy and a girl, Naomi and Roberto Jr. Roberto Jr., unfortunately, I lost 11 months ago due to cancer. It is hard because this is the first time that I speak in front of people to talk about him. Why is it that I speak about him? Because he was a blessing and continues to be a blessing to me, because he empowered me so much despite being a young man at 35. He left me with so much strength despite me seeing him day to day go through this horrible situation. And I'm sure a lot of other people, I mean, look at what's going on with Ukraine right now, are going through turmoil. We all will go through that. We'll continue to go through that. You may think, well, how can he have this strength when he lost his father, now losing my son? It's part of life. There are spirits within us that gives us that strength. The strength that brought you guys to be in front of me right now is a spirit, is your spirit. Make sure that you strengthen that spirit. What you're doing right now, learning Spanish, a language that comes second in this continent, prior to those that had been here for thousands of years. As Columbus arrived into this country, I mean, he already spoke Spanish, because that's the only way that he could communicate with the Queen in order for him to make that voyage into this continent. So yes, Spanish was spoken throughout this land. And I'm honored to be in front of you and know that you're willing to learn this language, because that is going to empower this country and empower yourselves and the future generations. Because from Mexico all the way to La Patagonia, there are so many other people that speak the language, close to 600 million. We're only 330 million people. So think of the market that you have, besides the market that you have within this country, because there will continue to be more immigrants coming in from different countries. So the more you learn about the world and about the culture of other cultures, I should say, it's going to empower you. Whether you go into business, whether you go into any kind of a career that you might wind up doing. I became a janitor. Ironically, that's what I was doing in Mexico when I left Mexico. I started very young. I was an entrepreneur. I have been an entrepreneur since I was born, I guess. I had that spirit already, and that's what keeps me moving. I'm not greedy. It's not about making money. It's how is it that we can make a difference in people's life. I can make a difference possibly in front of you, and I hope that I do. But a second language is going to empower you with so many tools. Besides, you're going to be learning about all these cultures throughout this continent and hopefully Europe, because you have Spain. Right now, the United States is the second largest speaking Spanish country in the world, second to Mexico. So think about that. Start thinking of the future that you're going to have with this language, or the being bilingual. Okay? I'm going to share another. This is kind of crazy. You see me in a suit and a bow tie. Well, at 16 years old, I started a music group. This is it. You have 2 Puerto Ricanos there and 5 Mexicans, including myself. So that was another adventure. I saw all these kids that were not doing anything at the barrio. And I said, listen, we have to do something. We cannot just continue to be in the pool and skipping school and doing, just being crazy. Well, this is the result of it. Of just having an idea and put it to play. And we were making $1,200 at a wedding. Okay, this is 1977, 1978. $1,200, it was a lot of money back in those days. For 7 kids, it was a lot of money. So think of anything that you want to build within this country, you're able to do it. Anything, I don't care. Just be useful, but never forget from where you're coming. The beginning of life is what gives you all the energy to continue with it. There's a force that it can change that it's been given to you. It pulls it out. My son, again, was a blessing to me because he empowered me, he continues to empower me. I don't want to talk about sad things. This is prosperity. This is my company. I'm a janitor again. I continue to be a janitor, but there are other things that I can do. These people empower me. You have no idea the amount of force that these folks that are giving me. They allow me to be in front of you. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't be Roberto Ramírez now. I wouldn't be wearing this suit if it wasn't because of them. These people and my people are very valuable in this country. as you are as well. But how is it that we can continue to divide ourselves? By naming ourselves different, by doing things different. We are one. I continue to hear in media the name America. America is the continent. And please learn, is the continent. This is the United States of America. It's not America. So long as we continue to call it America, we're going to continue to be divided. That's why our forefathers, I'm a citizen now. Yes, I was a wetback moons ago, but I'm a citizen now. And the name of this country is the United States of America. And we need to remain united. If we continue to point out the bad things that we may have, they're going to continue to feed us that bad side. I continue to say that we all have that DNA of Cain. And this is a story in the Bible. Who knows? You know, I'm a believer. But if we continue to enhance that Cain, we have the results that are happening within Ukraine and Russia right now. And I'm sorry to get into politics, but that's my belief. You continue to nurture anger, you're going to draw anger into your life. Detain it, eradicate it from your life. Look at what's happening here in Chicago. It's not far from, I mean, we're so far from Mexico. Mexico, there's 60,000 people that died out of violence in a year's time. Okay? 900 here in Chicago. That's not, I mean, one of the most valuable things that my mother taught me when I arrived. And we're in Texas, we're in Houston, Texas. I went to a grocery store, a small grocery store, convenience store, I should say, with my mom to pick up a gallon of milk and some other things that we needed. Neither of us spoke English. But again, this is the first, second, third day that we arrived into Houston. I had never seen an African-American individual in my life. Never. I had read about the story of slavery and so on, books in Mexico, but I had never seen a figure this large, and I was just a kid. And she pulled me over, and I was amazed. You know, she pulled me over and said, "Roberto, never forget that the blood that runs through his veins is the same color as yours. So please, let's not continue to divide ourselves. We have the same blood, brother. Same blood. That's what's going to keep us. Yes, there are people that will continue to enhance that DNA of Cain. We just have to put them aside and just continue forward. We cannot relate ourselves with the past. The past, it's gone. We have to change. You are the generation that can make that difference. You are the generation because you're making that effort to learn another language, to learn other cultures, to learn about people and live your lives. I know that it's hard because of what you see and how people act and how people are taking advantage of maybe a position of possibly having a gun. Well, don't forget, my father was murdered. I'm against guns. I'm against violence, period. Just think. I was also part of the Capital Punishment Commission, and I saw a lot of things. We found out many, many things that were wrong with the system and continue to be wrong. We made a difference with 86 proposals to the government on how to fix the system, but it's very ingrained. It's truly in the roots. So you are the ones that can make a difference. You are the only ones. I mean, I'm on my way out. I'm going to do whatever possible that I can within my resources and with the people that I can reach. But you guys can do more. And it's all within your reach. Read. The reason why you're at North Central College is because it's an institution that is willing to do this sort of thing, that is willing to pay Jelena to teach you another language, to teach you about another culture. And hopefully you will be prosperous and be able to help others. This is a result of just an idea that came to mind. Once I started, 5 years after I started my business, I decided to start a foundation to award scholarships to Latino students. Some came here, some came to Aurora University and other universities throughout the US. But these these three guys, Rafael, the blue shirt, 10 years after he received his first scholarship in Northern Illinois University, 10 years later, he became the chairman of the board for the foundation that helped him. And the two young men on the other side, all of them have families, have built their own businesses, and continue to share with others. These are things that need to happen. At the end of the day, we're not going to take anything when we die. We are here for a purpose. We all have a purpose. We're not here just to be Roberto Ramírez or anybody, whomever you are. You have a purpose. Find that purpose and follow it. Don't disregard your feelings. Your gut feelings, it's a spirit that you have inside of you that is going to guide you. Just listen to it. Listen to it. And it will give you all the guidance that you need. Be faithful to that spirit. I don't care what religion you follow. Be faithful to that spirit, first and foremost. And you will see that it's going to guide you the right way. These are the ups and downs that I have had, and I think I've shared one of them. This is an altar that I have at your house, which is my house. And it's a saying in Mexico, mi casa es tu casa. This is an altar that I have for my son. And I light a candle for 2 or 3 days. Once it's out, I put another one. And it's just a belief that we have as Hispanics or in Mexicans there in particular. But this is me and him as he was a child. And the crib, that's my daughter in my arms. That's him in the crib. Him hitting the piñata. I share these pictures with you because it brings me that that force. It is the story. I'm sharing a story. I want you to be, I don't want you to be sad. I want you to be thinking of what you can do, what you're going to be able to do with your lives. I want you to understand that life is short. He was only 35, but cancer took his mother a couple of years earlier than him. So things do happen, and do happen fast. But we have to continue. Hopefully that war will stop and will bring conscience to those people that there's no need to be fighting. Just simply for greed. There's no need to be greedy in this world. This is him at 35. And that picture was taken by a friend of his, because when he found out that he had cancer, he decided to go by the beach, and that's him. This is my daughter. So these are the 4 pillars that I have. 2 boys, her, and that little girl in the middle is my son's daughter. She's great. He married an Italian girl. Now I have a green eye, white girl in my family. I love her. I love them all. And she's wild, as you can tell in that picture. She's the wild of the 3, but they're beautiful kids, and they're going to have a life, and I'm gonna try to give them as much as I love it as I can, and do the things, the right things for them to be able to succeed in this country, and be able to be fair to others, specifically to be fair to others. Not to be disrespectful, because respect is the first thing. You have to give respect to other people. Otherwise, you're going to gain the same thing from others to you. So this says what we need to do. I've been pulled in many directions. I continue to say that I'm like a piñata. You pull me this way, I come and see Jelena. You pull me that way, I follow my gut. Every door that opens, just walk in with no fear. It's going to help you. No fear. Walk in. You never know what you're going to find in there. If you see that it's something bad, just walk back out. As simple as that. Don't get involved. Just put it aside. There's no need. I was asked to go and speak this leadership event. And all these folks are very, very important people. So I had to share what I was doing. I started a Spanish public media foundation to start a radio station locally. Right now, it's connected to Radio France International. It's connected to all the public radio stations throughout Latin America and Caribbean and Europe. And right now, we're about to launch our new app. It's called Spanish Public Media. If you want to learn about other cultures within the Latin American, because if you think of Colombians, even though we speak Spanish, there are different customs that we have, from Mexico all the way to La Patagonia. So think about that. Start learning about that. It's going to help you with your Spanish. You are going to be able to really enjoy talking to all these folks. It is important that we create leadership within this country, and you're the future of that leadership. if you would have chosen not to come in here tonight, I don't know, you could have done something much better than this. But I hope that me speaking to you and being in front of you, I'm able to at least lit something in your spirit to be able to do what's next. That's what we need to see. We all come in different colors. The human race comes in different colors. I always say that we're like cars, you know, different models, different colors. Think about it. But we're the human race. What has been pushed in a car? Gasoline, right? Well, we have gas in our veins, the same gas, same color. Easy to see, be simple. Don't make it difficult for your life. Play it simple. First and foremost, be kind to others. It's that simple. It's much easier to be kind than to be mean. It's very simple. I know that we Latinos are told that we're a lot of hugs and kisses and touchy-feely people. We are, but that's what moves us. Nothing wrong with that. It's best than to have a knife and shove it in your back. There's no need for that. So I just want to say thanks to North Central College. Jelena, thank you for being my friend and allowing me to be in this forum. It is important that we do the right thing. Thank you again.
Now, I'd like the audience to ask Mr. Ramirez some questions. Any questions that you have at all?
Don't be shy.
And I guess I can start. I want to ask you, when you were a little boy in Mexico, and you didn't say the name of your hometown in Mexico.
It's well, no, I can say it, but it has a name that shouldn't be. If I would have been given the opportunity to call it something else, I would call it something else, because it's called Matamoros, which means kill the Moors. Ironically, there's a lot of killing there. Who knows? And that's where my father was murdered. He was murdered at the farm where I was born. But yeah, that's where I was born, Matamoros. And it's a border town with Brownsville, Texas. So we're very acquainted with crossing the border and back and forth. But another thing, we didn't speak any English, which is another wrong thing. And for these countries not to be able to speak English when we're so close, you know. Yes, I went to a school where they were teaching, but we tend to disregard. We think that we will never need it. So I don't know, it's part of that. I'm sorry. I hope that
No, it's interesting because the origin of that name actually comes from Spain.
From Spain,
There
yeah.
is a town in
Yeah.
Spain that was called Matamoros until just recently.
Yeah.
The town petitioned for years to change the name.
Mhm.
It was a medieval name.
Right,
Christians
right.
and Moors fought against each other.
Mhm.
And just recently, in the last year or two, they were able to change the name of their town.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's precisely what I say. It just Cain, that DNA, we have to eradicate it out of our system.
Definitely have to be more aware. Sometimes we don't see
That
evil or we don't
lurking.
see biases or
Mhm.
racism around us because we grew up with it.
Mhm.
So my question was, when you were a little boy, what did you want to be when you grew up? Did you see yourself as an entrepreneur, even as a young boy, before the music band, when you're
You know, I thought of being a pilot. It didn't occur. I mean, there are a lot of things that one thinks, but this spirit that you have tends to guide you in a different way. It's and all the things that occur within your life, within your surroundings, it changes you. It all depends on where you put yourself. I mean, a lot of people, I didn't do what I've done all by myself. It's that opens a door and you walk in with no fear. I mean, that's what has made me in this country, having no fear. Yes, I thought of becoming an attorney as well, you know, afterwards. But then during the time that I was going through high school, I dropped out. I shouldn't be saying this at a school, right? But I dropped out of high school. I was a junior. You want to know why? I was undocumented. And I didn't have a way to get into school. And it was my turn in the family to start working. So I started washing dishes. And then, you know, from there, I went into construction. I was a laborer. And then another $2, and I wound up at Bell Labs, just down the street, Naperville. Then they dropped us from $8 to $6 because of the union. Instead of helping us retain that, they made a deal with the owners of the buildings, the owners of the companies, janitorial companies, and they dropped us from, because they knew that at least the vast of the workers within the suburbs were undocumented, Mexicans in particular. And now they want us as a customer, as a member. Senseless. So these are some of the things that go on. I'm sorry.
No.
But this is the truth. That's what happened to me. From $8, think about it. This is 40 years ago. 42 years to be precise. They took us from $8, and right now the spread between the suburbs and Chicago, $6. Think about it. $6 spread between the salaries of a janitor in the city and a janitor in the suburbs. That's why, you know, crew school will continue to be crews. Just walk away from them. That's all. Please, if you have any questions, anything, ask me. I don't want to be talking about sad things all the time. I want to be happy. I want to leave jumping. Please. It's okay. Just stand up and come right here. No, don't.
So my grandpa's like 1 out of 15.
Okay. 15.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they came out from Puerto Rico when they were younger, and he was the first one to go to college. And then I was in the dual language program.
Mhm.
So, and I know a lot of my friends who were in that program couldn't come between college or went to college.
Yeah.
So, you know, have any advice for like people like that who can't go to college without having like
Well, there's a lot of good things out there. You just have to do the research and be fearful. I mean, just go and find it. I started this foundation to award scholarships specifically for Latinos, you know, and yes, I was able to help a few, and we were able to help a few. I didn't put all the money together. I mean, I put some of it and continue to do so, including for this radio station. It is important that we give back, especially in this country where you have all these avenues. The platform that we have within this country is to help each other. I mean, so let's face it, the forefathers were able to see something of good in this country because they were all immigrants as well. Let's face it. The only people that have the right to this land are the natives. And look at where they are. It's just unfair. It's not the right thing to do. And we have to change. You are the people that can change this. Puerto Rico, I love Puerto Rico. It's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful island. And you should be proud of your ancestry. Very proud.
Yeah, they still live down
Yeah.
there. But a lot of them moved up here.
Yeah. And, you know, we have to change that. Please.
I had seen that you had you had made a band with that jump out of high school. I was wondering what
Pardon me?
you guys said that you had formed a band with your friends after once you
Yes.
got out of high school. I was wondering what instrument you played.
Bass. Yeah. Yeah. I have to, I don't know. I wind up with a bass and seems like it's always a lead. Just without the bass, nothing happens, baby. Nothing happens. Please.
I was just kind of wondering, like, what are some of your favorite hobbies to do, like, present day?
Today,
Yeah.
I read. I try to read. I work out a lot. Get up at 4:30 in the morning, take a shower, go to the gym, which is 2 blocks, 3 blocks from my house, and get back in and start working. I'm participating in 2 other ventures, one both in Mexico. We're trying to do things to take just different cleaning agents into Mexico that are much more green. And there's another fintech that I'm working on to also concentrate on the immigrant market in particular. You know, how is it that they're both with a social conscious type of business. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I spend time with my granddaughter. In fact, this Sunday I will be with her. And the other 2 kids are in Arizona. My daughter moved to Arizona a couple of years ago, and she's doing well. She's a nurse, and she's doing great things out there. And she was just texting me before I got here that she's looking at another venture. So who knows? She's great. She's great. Please. Oh yeah. Who else? Come on, guys. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was wondering, you mentioned kind of the culture shock that you felt when first arriving here in America, especially with the Coke story.
The United States of
The
America.
United States of America. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
United States of America. And I was wondering, how bad was the culture shock? And what were ways that you trying to cope with it? Do you have like any more stories about where you were just so surprised that the culture was much different from the United States of America compared to Mexico?
Well, you see a lot of poverty in Mexico. So obviously, when you come here, all the streets are paved and you know, green pastures, yards, and things like that. So it's totally different. And when we arrive, I was playing soccer as soon as I arrived. You know, I just hang out with you know, every place where I would see a goal, I would go and kick the ball. And I wind up playing with the kickers. I didn't speak a word of English. Again, I mean, a lot of these kids were German, and they were not that good playing soccer, so I could, you know, dribble around them and do things. But these are kids from you know, German parents that were probably immigrants as well, and it was fun. It was fun. I mean, there were 2 guys from Michoacan, no, 3 guys from Michoacan and myself, and the rest were just kids that were born here. But look at what's happening now with soccer. Just an amazing thing. But yeah, it was culture shock was the clothes. I mean, that jacket just set me out of sight, you know. The snow was this high, at least a foot. So I literally wanted to, when I found out that it was a girl's coat, I wanted to crawl underneath that snow and be lost forever. I mean, I was so embarrassed, but now I can laugh about it, you know. So that culture, I mean, unknown, the language is very hard. It's extremely hard. I'm still learning, dropping out of school because you simply do not have a social and you're not able to go to school. I mean, I know that a lot of laws are coming through. I was able to write a proposal on immigration. I gave it to some of the politicians, but they don't think that this is possible. I guess maybe I'm too forward on this. And it has to have, in order for us to fix an economic issue, it has to have an economic solution. You cannot fix it. It's just not one way. It's to make everybody happy. I'm sorry. I hope I.
No, that's perfectly fine. I actually have another question.
Sure, please.
So, there's like, you mentioned some like flaws in like certain systems, like school systems and like the commissioner systems that you talked about. In general, like for any like kind of systems or communities, what do you think is like the first step to start changing that?
Well, when it comes to capital punishment commission, I mean, there are things that need to be put in place before you commit to kill somebody, whether it's in this state or Texas or any other state. I think that we really have to think it human. Yes, that person committed a crime and should be punished, but killing him was just enhancing Cain's DNA. Just think of their family. How are they going to feel? Yes, they didn't commit the crime. He did or she did. But the repercussion that killing a person has in the rest of the family is enormous. And there's no way you're going to be able to pull that back. No way. So it leaves this anger in you, but you have to sustain it. You have to put it aside because that anger will drive you nuts. It will guide you into the same situation of killing. And it's just look at all the kids that are in Afghanistan and all these wars that we have had that are, I continue to say that are senseless. Senseless because we're all humans. They're in need. Yes, they came, people came into this country and did an atrocity, but look at the amount of lives that we lost within those two buildings. And then we wind up in another war for 10 years and lost more. I think in those days, we were so much united than now, 20 years later. We're so much united. So I'm sorry, but I'm against war. I'd rather shake your hand. And yes, we have our differences, but I think the things that we have much more in common are greater than those differences that we may have. I bet you that. Thank you.
I actually have a question. I'm here on in
Oh.
Zoom.
Yeah, there's a question here in the chat. Go ahead.
You can go ahead and ask a question.
Can we ask questions now?
Yes.
Okay, hi. My name is Gina Colazzo. I'm actually an entrepreneur myself. Also went to North Central College myself. So North Central College is endearing to my heart. And this is my question to you. My question is, do you believe that it was the circumstances in your life that pushed you into learning a second language, or was it more your dreams?
Was it the circumstances in your life that pushed you to learn a second language, or was it more your dreams that pushed you?
I think over the years you wind up learning that there are circumstances, yes, surroundings that you have to But you also have to do it as a respect to those that are born in this country and they speak the language. How can you be disrespectful and not speak the language, or not at least try to learn the language and learn their culture? Is disrespectful not to try. That's my message for those that are still trying to learn. It is, I mean, even if you go to Russia or go to any other country, try to at least learn how to say thanks. It's just out of respect. It is important for us to learn of others. Religion, the same thing. Out of respect, just learn. And you're going to be able to be surprised. It's that willingness to be able to learn can change your life.
Thank you, Ms. Colazo, for that question. I think it's time to say goodbye.
Adios.
Adios, hasta la próxima, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
Roberto Ramírez for coming. Stay behind, stay back a little bit if you want to
Yeah.
talk to Mr. Ramirez one-on-one, ask him about anything at all. And I hope you come back very soon.
I would
because
love
we
to.
really
Yes.
appreciate
Thank you. Thank you.
If you still haven't signed this, go on ahead.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it.
Let's take some pictures.
See? You want
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I take
Man, you're a tall kid, man. This is my son. He was,
Look over here. Una, dos, tres.
Would you actually be able to take one on my phone too, please?
Yeah. Are you taking Spanish?
Yes, Spanish too.
Who's
Beautiful.
is your
Professor
Jelena?
Bayona, yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you again.